Hey everyone, in this video we're going to show you how to draw a 3D cone. So grab your pencils and let's get drawing. The first thing you want to do when drawing the cone is just establish where the point of your cone is, which I believe is called the apex. And what you want to do is just scroll down, just draw down like that. And from this side as well, just draw, roughly anything, something like that would be nice. The thing about a cone is that it's a 3D shape, so we're going to draw a curved front. So in doing the curved front, what you want to do is just think about the fact that, well, first off, these should be, roughly the same size. And just think that at the back, the curved part will go back, and at the front, the curved part will come forward. So you can go very light at the beginning, and if you're happy with the shape, then you can, of course, fill it in a little more. You're not going to use the back part. I just drew it there to show you what it's like. You're just going to use the front. So when doing the front, what you do is just make a solid line and just bring it right around like this, okay? So that's going to be the framework for your cone. We're going to have a light source coming from over here. So that means that this side of the cone will be nice and bright, as well as this side will be nice and dark. So I'm actually just essentially going to show you how to shade that. So what we want to do, let's see. We want to, of course, just generally understand that our lines are going to come down from the top point down. This will help give your cone a much more 3D-like shape. So if you want, you can do this. You can start at the top and just move your way down. This is a really good way to just start establishing the shape of your cone. And of course, it's a 3D shape, so you want it to look as real as possible, right? This does not have to be perfect. This is just a guide, right? I'm just guiding you down. So we're starting to draw this 3D-like shape. We will do some shading afterward, but for now, we're not really gonna, work on the shading. But what I will say is that you can, this is fine. You can just start to add some shading on the left. And we're just going to keep doing that. Try to have all of your shading lines start at the top, the point, and make your way down to the bottom, which is the base. If you can do that, your shading will look a lot more realistic versus trying to shade side to side versus trying to shade exactly up to down. What you want to do is just go from point to base, always in that way. Notice how I started that way and I'm actually continuing that. It's fine if I'm going over the lines. I'm really just establishing the base framework for this shading. And that's really what I'm doing right now. The reason, of course, is because I'm going to use my smudge technique to really blend a lot of these colors together. And in doing so, a lot of the lines that are drawn really do kind of blend into the page. You can see that already. So I wasn't too concerned with those lines. I was just kind of laying the foundation and the framework down for the shading, because what we're going to do is actually get a lot more shading in here. So remember that light source is coming from here. If you forgot, you're going to have some shadows at the bottom. We'll do that afterward. But what's kind of critical and essential is that right over here towards the middle, we're going to have a sharp turn in contrast of dark shading. So the question is, how do you do that? I would suggest you grab something a little darker, perhaps a 7B, and just start up here and just kind of do this. Start, if you're not really clear on what I'm doing, I'm just starting like this. Okay, that's all I'm really doing, and moving my way down. Okay, so I'm starting here and I'm just going to move my way down. Okay, that's the first thing I would do. What you want to do is repeat that just to the right. But notice this time, by starting just to the right, we actually went darker on the left. You do want the left side to be darker, so you want to kind of keep overlapping some of these shading lines, okay? So keep it going like this. And keep doing that. Okay, so we're continuing to do that. If you want, you can use your smudge technique to kind of bring this together. So that's helping, but we still need to get some shadows on the left. So let's continue, keep it going. Okay. I would challenge you to say you can even get a darker pencil, even something like the 8, and the 8 will really be nice because you can get some of this nice dark lead out on the drawing. Okay, I did kind of go side to side because I do feel it helps establish some of the curvature of the cone. And that's all I'm really doing at this stage. Now, if you want, you can even continue just getting some darkness on the right-hand side. Now, you can do that by going side to side, or you can start in the same place every time, right? So notice I'm always starting right at the edge and kind of moving my way back. I'm not going back and forth, okay? By the way, if you're curious, or if you're into math or anything like that, the volume, if you're into volumes, the volume of a cone is equal to pi, which is 3.14159 and a whole bunch of other numbers, multiplied by the radius, which is the distance from there to there. That's the radius. The radius squared, so radius times its height. That's the height. Divided by 3. That's the volume. That's how you get the volume of a cone, if you're curious. Cones are often seen in many different places. My favorite place for seeing a cone is the ice cream cone. I just had ice cream the other day and it was delicious, but unfortunately I didn't have a cone. I opted for a cup. I was in my car, so it was a little harder to have a cone. But that's my favorite place for seeing and kind of interacting with cones, but there's certainly many other places that a cone can come to life, isn't there? Okay. So we're just, the goal here is just to have a nice smooth transition from light source to shaded side. I think we went over the lines quite a bit. I'm gonna grab the eraser and just clean up the sides. To clean up the sides, you're really just gonna go lightly, kind of up and down, really just to clean it up. And you can clean the bottom, but we're actually gonna draw a little bit of shadows at the bottom. So what I'll do is get rid of this little radius thing that I drew as well. Actually, you know what? I don't think we're gonna do shadows at the bottom. I think this is looking really nice, really clean. Let's keep it like this. This is basically, in short, like a nice clean drawing of a cone. So let's keep it at that. Sometimes the shadows can really change your drawing. So I don't really wanna change up too much, other than just perhaps just cleaning up a couple more shadows on the far left side, right? Just getting a few more shadows in there. If you want, you can get your original pencil that you used and really just reestablish that line that you drew at the very beginning. If it has faded away, you can certainly just get it back there and clean up just a little bit of lines around the outside as well. This will help your cone have a realistic look to it, because there is a fine edge on the cone, right? The cone has an edge, so you want to represent that in this drawing. So let us know in the comments how it went for you. Are you drawing along, or perhaps you're just watching, and that's fine as well. But let us know. We always like to know what brought you here and how you're doing, so we can help. Of course, let us know what else we can draw for you as well. I would say that this is just a little bit too much over here in terms of the shadows. Let's clean that up. That shadow went too far to the right. So what I would say is just get that pencil mark back on there and use your smudge technique to like reestablish that. That will help do just that. You don't want your shadows kind of going over to the right-hand side because we've already established that that's where our light source is coming from. So be careful with that. Be careful that the shadows, the shades don't sneak over to the right-hand side. A lot of the smudging results in lead kind of going off the shape. If that happens, just use your eraser to clean things up. But I would say that's pretty much it. Maybe I'll put this back. I did my little lesson about volume. So that's the radius, center to outside. That's the height from here to here. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.